We start with the Jones fire that destroyed an RV community in Wickenburg. That fire now 23% contained at 84 acres. Evacuation orders remain in place for those who live at the Arrowhead RV Park. Wickenburg High School remains open for those who've had to leave their homes.
Yeah, so it was a very dangerous fire, and I think Wickenburg really kind of dodged a bullet there because the winds were very strong. So joining us now to talk about the challenges of fighting these fires is Sean Gilliland with Rural Metro. Sean, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, thank you.
So we had two of these river bottom fires in the past week or so. The one out in Buckeye with really no buildings around it, but the one in Wickenburg, we saw what it could do. These are dangerous fires.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you get those fires that are closer to the inhabited areas, so like the one in Wickenburg where there's actually homes and stuff in that area, makes it a lot more dangerous.
You know, it was interesting on Monday when it first broke out. I mean, within a couple of hours, it looked like firefighters kind of had a good control of it. You know, white smoke. We saw some hot spots here and there, even though it had destroyed that RV park. But it's a little surprising that it's still burning on day 3.
A lot of that has to do with just the topography, the fuel sources. There's a lot of fuel in some of those river bottoms that's unmanaged. And so once it gets in there, it's very difficult. Then you add in some of the factors like wind and different weather conditions, low humidity, and it can change really quickly.
You know, we watched it over the hours, starting in the 1 o'clock show, I think that the tram was doing. And by the time we were on at 3 o'clock, all of a sudden it had really gone up. But it seemed like firefighters got it not totally under control, but keeping it away from those buildings fairly quickly after that because they got resources in place. You want to talk about some of the resources they used? And it seemed like within hours, they had their equipment there and their manpower.
Yeah, I think the Department of Forestry and some of those agencies did an excellent job of getting those resources there quickly. The LVATs, the large air tankers, stuff like that, getting those in play quickly is going to make a lot of difference in the outcome of the fire and how much it spreads, how far it goes. So if you can get those resources there in a timely manner, you're ahead of the game for sure.
So it looked like firefighters had a good, control of that Jones fire, but then officials said that they were going to do more burnouts. Explain, why is the need for burnout? Why not just put that fire completely out?
Sometimes they use the burnout as a technique to remove some of the fuel source. So if they can burn ahead of the fire, remove some of the stuff that it might be going to or a direction it might end up turning, they can prevent that fire then from maybe getting closer to the structures, the inhabited areas, or moving, almost kind of control which direction the fire burns to. Again, given conditions and stuff like that. So that's just one of the techniques they'll employ to help try to control the fire.
Yeah, it's interesting watching firefighters out there actually set fire to help out others. All right, so Sean, last question, running out of time here, but it's not just Wickenburg. There are areas in Scottsdale, there are areas all over the valley where people are near these river bottoms or brush. What would you get out to homeowners and business owners in terms of saving their businesses and homes?
One of the primary messages is to do what we refer to as a Firewise programming. It's a nationally recognized program of just reducing fuel sources around your property. We've set it up, time and time again, create a defensible space around your house, remove those fire fuels. So anything that can take that fire from that creek bottom, the river bottom, and move it towards your property, remove those grasses, remove those dead things. That way, if there does happen to be a fire there, it can't or it won't have a less chance of moving to your house.
That's right. Sean, thank you for what you do in the community. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Great insight. Thank you.